Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Honey, where we talk about various crypto projects. Before we begin, as always, I'm not your financial advisor, and we never provide investment advice on this channel. So with that being said, sorry I couldn't get a video out yesterday, but here we go again today with another video for the channel and in the Dexscreener series. So if you're brand new to us here in the series, thanks so much for joining. I'm not sure where you came from, but we're sure glad to have you. And if you've been with us somewhere along the way or from the very beginning, thank you again for continuing to support the channel in the series. So what we're going to do today, we're going to look into some discovery, and I'm going to do a couple of things, well, at least something a little bit different, so not much to really look at in terms of review, but what we will do is we'll take a look, here at the customizer. So we're going to get rid of price, we're going to keep age, get rid of transactions, volume, and makers, keep the time frames as always, and remove liquidity and keep market cap. So there we go. We can see the view here has changed, and we'll go ahead and we'll take a look, in our filters. So what we're going to do is we're going to select, we'll go with all four again. Sure, why not? And then we'll save. And then here on the deck side, nothing to do there. For some reason, I didn't select all of them, did I? So there's base. Okay. So there we go. And liquidity, because they removed that when they made the change to the profile or to adding these new filters, we got to add the liquidity in, now, as far as whatever amount you want. But since we were always doing 1,000 before, that's what we'll go ahead and we'll keep here. So in the minimum market cap, we'll go ahead and we'll stay at our 50K, and at the max, we'll go to 150 since we've got so many different chains we're looking at. And then on the age, we're going to go to 1 hour all the way out to 60 hours. And then on the 24-hour change, sure, let's go ahead and let's keep our 10 as we normally would. Okay, so we're going to click apply. Now, with that being said, we're going to obviously sort here first, just so you can see, how the that 10% minimum value, affects what we're looking at. So you can see nothing here is under 10%, so that's how that operates, so we're not going to see anything negatives as far as the 24-hour column is concerned. But we'll go and we'll do a quick sort here, which is the 5-minute, just to see which ones are showing the most activity. And remember, we always avoid these with the box and the question mark, just because those tend to be scams a lot of times. So we've got some to take a look at. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look at QCat here. Floppy the Frog, this is one we're going to pay close attention to. The origin of Ethereum, don't know anything about that one. So Kangaroo Market, I think I saw that one yesterday. Let's see here, Ionic, sure, I don't know what this is, but we'll open it up. Twump, okay, so this is like this new meta going on. I think Please, did run phenomenally well, so after that you started seeing a lot of these derivatives, of using this, baby kind of talk like Please, and Twump, so yeah, so we're seeing a lot more of those tokens, show up if you've been looking at what's going on chain. Magic Cyber Currency, sure, we'll open that one up. Euphoria, okay. Book of BSC, so BSC starting to make a little bit of a comeback, but not completely sold on it yet. Peanut, sure, we'll open that one up too. Okay, so a number of these to go and open up. Let's take a look, at the charts to make sure they've got a Telegram. Okay, so here, QCat, it looks okay, so we'll go and we'll keep this one for now. Floppy, this one does have a Telegram. We're definitely going to keep this one. And then Ethereum here, got a Telegram. Let's view out on the chart here. On the 1 minute, if we did anything with this one, it would likely be an under alert just because of where the candle is right here. But we'll keep it because we've got a Telegram. This one on Kangaroo Market, chart looks horrible. We're going to go ahead and skip this one. And then Ionic, not crazy about the chart. We're going to skip this one too. So here, no Telegram. And here, we got no Telegram. Here, chart looks, not really crazy about this one either. We'll get rid of it. And then this one, let's go out to the 1 minute. Let's see what's going on here. Not crazy about what I'm seeing here. Doesn't really look truly healthy to me. Just when you look at enough charts, you just kind of know which ones kind of feel and look healthy in terms of just patterns over time, and which ones don't. And to me, this is probably going to be one to avoid. Peanut here. This one. There's a lot of sell pressure, looking at this one. I think this is one we'll probably come back to. All right, and then we're going to go back over here, and we're going to adjust the market cap, 151. And then we're going to go out to 200. There we are. All right, so there we go. And let's see what we got here. Sunny Solana, sure, we'll keep it. Solar Coaster. I'm surprised this one's still running. I don't know if this one had a Telegram. I think I've seen this one before. Tax income from fees, sure. Bumper, no, we'll leave that one alone. So let's take a quick look here. This one looks like it could be starting a bit of an uptrend. I don't know. We'll keep it for now. This one, Solar Coaster, I like the name. They got a Telegram. And this one here, okay, so this one, I saw this one yesterday, and they made some changes. You know, this banner wasn't here yesterday, you know, so, and I was kind of skeptical about this one because that's what I remember. When I checked out their Telegram, it was one of those scam telegrams where they were asking you like for a phone number. So I didn't, you know, choose to mess with this one yesterday. And I saw this one kind of late, you know, late in the evening. You know, but I think they did make some moves, you know, on the market cap for sure. You know, you can see this candle wicked up here, but I'm curious. I want to check this one out because if it does have that, you know, scam telegram, you know, going on, I do want to be able to show you that. You know, here's where we're here's I'm doing this video, and then tax income from fees. I can tell you right away, not crazy about this chart. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, we're gonna leave this one alone, and let's see here. Okay, so. We'll do one more look here, you know, in the filters. So we're going to go 201 to 500 and see what we got, because 500 is using our max as far as, you know, what we go out to. Navigator AI, let's take a look at that one. Anxiety, this chart was sitting and just sitting and just sitting this morning, and then all of a sudden it took off. So, and I think it was sitting at like, it was around 100K, maybe under, but it was just sitting there, not doing anything. And I'm thinking, you know, probably going to go ahead and dump, and they didn't dump, you know. And I think I saw online, you know, that it was probably going to nuke. From the creator, and it never did. So it's encouraging to see that as far as that one's concerned. Sackboy, I don't know about that one. I don't really care for the name. Let's see here. I don't know about this one. Strawberry, I see a bunch of duplicates of that one. Sana Idol, I don't know where that one went. Where'd it go? Okay, so it's gone now. Okay, so all right, so we're gonna go back up here. Nav AI, this one looks good as far as the chart's concerned, but they don't have a Telegram, so we'll leave that one alone. This one, Anxiety, so we'll take a look, you know, at it. All right, and so with that being said, we've got some tokens to definitely go ahead and take a look at. The first one we got here is QuantCap. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to transition to, you know, looking at the channels now. So here we go. And let's see here. QCat, we're going to go ahead and verify because we've got a portal here. So we got just over 200 members here in the chat. And so what's QCat about? So first thing that we're looking for is the last buy in here. Last buy, where I got 1227 on my clock, you know, so let's see here. Last buy came in 6 minutes ago. So that's good to see. All right. So I didn't see anything as far as raids are concerned. And I haven't seen anything in regards to trending. I'll go back down just to make sure I didn't miss it as I was looking for their last buy. Okay. So we do have a raid here. Okay. So I did miss this one. And it looks like they successfully completed this one. Okay. So it wasn't a very large one. You know, it only took them just under 20 minutes, which is good to see. All right, and then let's see here. Still not seeing anything in regards to trending. Okay, so with that being said, let's just take a look up here in the pinned messages so we can see they just boosted. All right, and then here, okay, so there's a message. This is something on X, and still looking for something in regards to trending and marketing. Okay, so they did a space. Okay, so that's good. All right, so again, and here's the boost, you know, so yeah, nothing in regards to trending, but that's okay. We're going to go back out here, and let's see here. So there's the boost, no ads, you know, but right now, you know, they've had some pretty decent activity here. Looking at the 1 hour, the 6 hour, and the 24 hour. We'll go and we'll set a couple of alerts on this one, but no, not even a couple. We're going to set one just because of where the candle is. And we're looking at, this is 54K. Let's see if we can see what the tab says. Yep, tab sitting at 54. So we're going to go to market cap and we're going to put our note here at 54K. I'm going to copy that. And so we're looking at goes under, and I'd say maybe it might be interested at 40K on this one. So I want to see if this one triggers at 40K. I'm going to close this out. Now, FOPI, here's the thing, guys, and this is also another reason, why I tell you guys you always want to make sure that you're listening, and watching, more of the video, because one of the things that I haven't talked about before is that when you come across, a token that you might be interested in, but you really don't know anything about the token, you don't know anything about the narrative, you don't know why this token is even a token at all, you don't know anything about the team or whatever. This is why I think it's really important to have a Twitter monitoring tool, okay? Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. It's important to have a monitoring tool. The reason why is because typically what I will do, and this is not something that I've talked about, here in the series at all, okay? So, but I'm giving you some additional information, and I've told you that, hey, I'm not really going to be doing any gatekeeping. I want you to be able to have, a good experience, as you're trying to navigate this landscape, because there's so many different scams and things out there. But, and, one that I'm really familiar with in the past, is called TweetDeck, okay? So that allowed you to have a number of different, decks open, so that you could see what's going on, in real time across Twitter, okay? So, and the one that I use is, is TweetDeck, but the only way you get access to TweetDeck, and I guess there's a way to do it for free, but, I don't really know what that is. I haven't really investigated that. But since I pay, for X Premium, they automatically give you access to it. You just go to pro.x.com, okay? Now, in order for you to access it, if you're not paying for premium, they would require that you subscribe to premium. Now, they run deals, specials on it. I don't know. I think mine was like half off at the time that I decided to join earlier this year. So it was pretty decent, for a year. I think it was like, $50 or something like that. But my point is, it's important, to use one of these. Because what I can do is, if I want to see, what's going on, with FOPI, who is talking about it, all I have to do, and you don't want to copy, this address up here because it won't show up. Okay, but you want to go over here, usually it's going to be the second, link down here, in the pairs. Okay, so you'll go ahead and you'll copy the second one. Okay, and then you're going to go into, your monitoring tool. And like I said, I can only use this example because this is the one that I'm familiar with. But you go ahead and you'll open up, just basically a window here where you're just going to go ahead and click on search, right? And so you'll paste in, whatever you're trying to search. Now, since I've already got, a window already open, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in here that I'm looking for this particular contract address. Okay, so, and because we know that this is a new token, this is the other thing you need to pay attention to is this today or is this another day? If it's a different day, I'll show you what you can do. But since we know that this is today, all you're going to do is just paste in the CA, okay, the contract address. Now, what I'll do, it'll start from the most recent all the way down, to the first mention, of the contract address. Okay, so if I go all the way down here, we're going down, and you're going to see some people talking about, how they mentioned it in their private, and the private Telegram, got in a certain, market cap, and they're eating well, that kind of stuff. So you're going to see that, or you might see some stuff talking about smart wallets, smart money, buying into a token at a certain market cap and so forth. So it may take you a minute to go ahead and get to the bottom, or you can just choose to focus on, what you saw at the top. Okay, but for me personally, I like to go ahead and see, who are the first people talking about this. So MemeScope bot, that bot is going to really, mention a lot of different contract addresses. It's an automated bot, so you're going to see that, as far as, a token that may be likely graduated from Pump Fund. Okay, so, and this is what they're saying, the market cap, total holders, and so forth. So they give you that information. All right, and then you can just start to see, who else is talking about this. The Dex is paid. We start the payment processing. So that's coming from the Soldeck, channel. Okay, and you can see, who's talking about it. Maybe somebody really knows something about this token that may give you more confidence into, why you may want to go ahead and possibly jump into this. So same vibes we know with FOPI here. That's what I'm seeing, and that's coming from this channel. 1010. Might be something for you to El Charto today, so, but the whole point, is that you're going to see different people talking about this. Now, here's the other thing. If nobody's talking about it, that should also tell you something too, right? If nobody's talking about it, that may mean that it's something to avoid. If you're constantly seeing new messages coming up in regards to this particular contract address, that may also be something that leads you to believe that maybe this is something you need to pay attention to. So this is something that you definitely want to pay attention to as far as any contract addresses that you may be looking at, because the first thing that I'm going to do a lot of times is I'm going to jump into the monitoring tool and I'm going to see, is anybody actually talking about it? Now, if you're in early enough, maybe nobody really is talking about it, but it could be something that you can go ahead and monitor. And this is real time. So it means that once you open this up and you put in the contract address, if there's anybody that says anything, you don't have to go ahead and refresh this. It's going to automatically show up. All right. So, and the other thing that I wanted to mention is that let's say that this was, a token that has been, going on for, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. What you want to do is you're going to want to go into, let's see here, time and location. Right. So you're going to go here and you can say within a time frame, and then you can say, okay, so let's say maybe, this launched, 2 days ago. So then I'd go ahead and I go in here and I'd say, today's the 6th. I'd go ahead and I go March 4th, 2025. And then obviously it'll start putting in this information. And then you've got to go back to it and you want to put in your end date, right? Now, a lot of times if you're looking for something on the same day, like today, it doesn't make any sense, obviously, to go ahead and put from a certain date to another date. And if you have something that was maybe a week ago, you can't go, from the first day to the first day. You always have to go from the first day to the second day. And if you still don't see anything showing up, then just go ahead and go out maybe 2 days or 3 days until you actually start to see the first mentions of that contract address. Because sometimes for me, what I want to do is I want to see who saw this the earliest, so I want to see the earliest mentions of that particular contract. And then those may be people that I maybe start to pay attention to or follow or whatever, as far as that particular contract address is concerned, especially if it's one that did massively well. I want to know maybe if they're an insider, what accounts actually saw this the earliest. So just keep that in mind. I'm just sharing this with you because it does help. Especially, when you see stuff super early and you have no idea whether it's safe. You can never trust, in my personal opinion, what they're telling you, in that particular Telegram channel, just because, there was one token I think I looked at, yesterday. I think it was called like Anonymous, something like that. And, I saw on Dexscreener that this token was mutable and it was freezable. Now, I've talked to you guys about that before, how you don't want to see those red flags in regards to a particular token. So what did I do? I went ahead and I went into the Telegram and I told them, actually, I read through the Telegram first and somebody else had mentioned it too. And they pretty much didn't really give them much of a response, other than, hey, the token's safe, right? And so I took a screenshot of it and I pasted it in the chat because they can't block that. They can't block images. So I pasted it into the chat and then immediately someone responded and said it was a bug and then they kicked me out of the channel. So what's that tell me? One, that tells me right away, if you're going to boot me from the channel for highlighting that, this is probably scammy. 2, it reinforces the fact that Dexscreener is probably right and it's not a bug. So, and then about 5 minutes later, what happened to the chart? It rugged. So again, just keep in mind when I say that you can't trust anything coming out, a lot of times if you see something that's up, and especially if you ask just the question generally, is this a safe token? That's on you to go ahead and do your research to figure that out. And this is part of the process in terms of doing that research. You want to look around and you want to figure out, is anybody saying anything about this? If people are really talking about it, that should give you some indication. It doesn't guarantee anything, but it may also, improve your, feelings about that token, that, hey, there's a more positive or bullish sentiment associated, with that particular token. If nobody's talking about it, it doesn't mean that it's bad, but it could mean that you're just super early. So you may have to do some additional things or maybe just monitor it, just to go ahead and see, is there going to continue to be people talking about it? And that monitoring could be from, what I'm doing right here. And that is just simply putting the contract, here in the search bar and then just waiting for new messages to show up. And as new messages show up, what does that mean? It could be, depends on what the messages are, but it could be that more people are going to start talking about this, and that could mean that it could be a token worth looking into or jumping into. So I know it's a lot of information, but again, you guys always have the benefit, of the video, so you can always go back and rerun through that information as much as you need to, just to go ahead and make sure you got your head wrapped around, what I'm talking about. So just something to keep in mind, okay? But I find that having a monitoring tool is extremely useful, especially if you're looking to get into stuff pretty early, because a lot of times if people are really talking about it, that could be a good thing. I'm never going to tell you guarantees anything. I don't care what the team has done in the past. I don't care if somebody's saying, hey, they got a great team going on. I mean, it's still somebody talking about it that you don't know that you can trust. So you're looking for consistency in terms of what's being said about a particular token, as you're utilizing your monitoring tool. So, and I think there are some free ones, out there. You have to do some searches, on that. You can put in a search for free, Twitter monitoring. But if you got X, you just want to go ahead and maybe pay for X premium. Personally, I think TweetDeck, is worth it. I mean, I'm not an affiliate for them whatsoever. I don't even think that TweetDeck has an affiliate program, but I'm just telling you what my own personal experiences are in regards to this. And I do find it useful. It is very simple. You just go ahead and put in that C8. Now, like I told you before, if we go back to Foppy over here, I don't think this works. I'm almost certain it doesn't, but like I said, I know the natural inclination maybe just to go ahead and grab the CA, from the search bar. But when you go, in here and you put that in here, I don't think it's going to show up. It shouldn't show up. So, okay, so it does show up, but you can see, looking at this bar, way less to look at, okay? So what are people, so yeah, you got some people that are pasting that in, but that's not what you want to paste in. What you want to paste in is the actual address, which is right here, not up here. It's going to be the second one here. All right. And then when you go back in and you paste that in, you can see the difference. So this is how thick our search bar is right now. We paste that in and you'll see how much smaller it gets, which means we get a boatload more, in terms of results, right? And messages, because this is the actual CA, for that particular, token. So keep that in mind, as you're utilizing, a monitoring tool. So, and we'll keep this open, for now, just so I can go ahead and show you different, different tokens and let you see, what's being said. All right. So we're just going to do that, for today's video. But again, this is also the reason why I tell you guys, you never know when I'm going to talk about something else that may be useful for you or useful to you, as you navigate, trying to investigate tokens that you may want to go and jump into. All right. So, and obviously, Foppy, when they migrated from Punk Fun, they did massively well. Now they're obviously, retracing. But I saw this one this morning at like 50K, pre-bonding, and I think it ran up to over 200K, so unfortunately I didn't jump into this one. But had I looked, at the, X monitoring tool to see what people were saying about this, I think that there would have been enough there for me to go ahead and say, hey, I'll throw in, a few bucks and see what it does, right? So, because the gain is a gain. All right, so we're going to take a look, here, since they've got a Telegram, we're going to take a look at the Telegram anyway and see what's going on. So here we go. So this one doesn't look like, oh, it looks like actually it might be a CTO. Yeah, it's a CTO. So, all right, so they've restricted my ability to send messages, so I got to re-verify. So this one looks like, a double verification, just so that you're aware. So here we go. We'll do that, and we'll see if they open it up so that I can go ahead and talk now. All right, so let's see here. Foppy, there we are. So yeah, now it's open, so I can talk. Okay, so we're going to go down to the bottom, and they've got trending going on. Okay, so anybody coming in is having to re-verify, twice. They got a raid going on. So the raid is not very large, 3 replies, 5 retweets, and 10 likes is all they're looking for. But there's been no activity here because everything is indicated in red, which means no progress is being made. So, but buys are still coming in on this one, which is positive to see. All right, so they got trending going on. We'll go ahead and we'll check out, the leaderboard, just to make sure they're active on the leaderboard. So we're looking for Foppy, and let's see, we can see Foppy right there. So there we go. All right, so we're not gonna do that. Okay. So with that being said, just scrolling up. So obviously they got a raid going. They got the trending going on. We're going to take a look here in the pinned messages. So this has been forwarded, from another channel. So obviously this is being showed to their community, which is obviously bringing in more eyes, to the token as well, which is what you want to see. Something from their X account, as well. Okay, so more stuff about the raid, or at least they want you to go ahead and raid, particular, X link. So we're going to head back out, and here we go. So there we are. You can see, the candle's still going up, so this still looks pretty good, my personal opinion. So let's see here. We're sitting at 171, 171. So we're going to go ahead and set up a couple of alerts, on this one. So we're going to say 171K here. We're going to copy that. And then we're going to set this at 190, okay? And then we'll set the under. Let's paste in the found market cap. Let's set the under at 150, so not huge deviations from the found market cap. We're going to close this one out, and then just like I said before, this is Ethereum. So look, it's going to work regardless of what chain you're looking at, whether you're talking about Ethereum, Base, Solana, or BSC. Okay. So we're going to do again. We're going to go down here, copy the second one. We're going to go over to the monitoring tool, and we're going to go ahead and paste that in here. We're going to see, is anybody talking about this one? So we get some results, not a lot, obviously. So here we got Wallet Deputy talking about this, and you can see what they're saying. New posts, I'll just go ahead and open it up for you. New post and Wallet Deputy announcements, and the name of the token. Okay, contacts, and these should be linked, but they're not. But it's okay. Let's see, ETH FOMO, and so you can see if anybody's made any comments, in regards to it as well. And then here we got Chad token takeovers, so new token passing the security check detected. All right, and so they give you some information here in regards to the token, so. All right, we're going to close this one. And then is this the CA? So somebody is replying, to Low Cap Trader, so this is another person's channel. All right, and then they're responding, yeah, it is. So you can also see, the tweet engagements, so if anybody's engaging, with the message that we're finding in regards to anybody who's talked about the token, you can also see responses in regards, to those particular, comments and tweets as well. Okay, so again, just highlighting how useful this is. Now, at the end of the day, is there anybody really talking about this? No, there's not really anybody talking about it. Does that mean that this is bad? Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Doesn't mean it's good either. Would I want to see more people talking about it? Absolutely. I want to see more people talking about it because that means that it has a greater chance to get more exposure. And when you have that social proof, right? When you got more people talking about it, that does help, to increase the likelihood that you'd want to go ahead and jump into it or not, right? So again, just highlighting, more reasons why this is very useful. Okay, so we're going to go back out here. And yeah, sure, we can see that this moving along. If I'm going to go ahead and follow this one, the only thing I would be willing to do, assuming everything checks out in the Telegram channel, is I'd go ahead and set an under alert on this. So we're going to go into their channel. You can see they're trending on hot pairs, Dexscreener hot pairs, but they've got no ads, no boosts running, So let's check out the channel and let's see what they got going on here. So this is a verification link, So we're going to go ahead and do that. So they got over 350 members here in the channel. And so last buy just came in at 1247. That's what I got on my clock. Okay, so they're trending number one, on ETH trending. All right, so we're going to see and make sure that they're actually actively, on that leaderboard. So we lost our link. Okay, so there we go. And so here we go. They should be number one, so saying Ethereum, so the origin of ETH, right? So that's what we were in. Okay, so yes, they're active on the leaderboard. They've got a raid going on here, doing really well on the raid. They only need 21% to complete the raid, and they were looking for, 10 replies, 10 retweets, and 25 likes. So, like I said, they're making some good progress, on that raid. Now, moving forward, let's go ahead and let's see what else we got going on up here in terms of the pin messages. So you can see this is coming from Dex's trending. Okay, so they paid for trending there, and so they're actually double trending because Dex is trading DEXS trending. It's a different trending other than this at ETH trending as well. Okay, because I'm familiar with them. Let me see here. They've got a website, as well. Socials have been updated, next on Dex Tools, So, all right, they've updated on Dexscreener as well. So yeah, there's some good things going on there. We're gonna go back out here. And for anybody that's brand new, if I'm talking kind of quickly, some videos I talk faster, some I don't, So, but again, you've got the benefit of the video. Always just make sure to go back and review whatever I've said if I'm going a little bit too fast for it, especially if you're somebody newer to crypto. So, all right, with that being said, so I think everything's checked out, within the Telegram channel. And so what we're going to do, we're going to set that under alert. We're sitting at 112 here. And here, this is, so we can't follow it there. So we're going to make it 112 as far as I found. Market cap, so 112. All right, and then this is going to be an under, and we're going to set this at 90K. All right, so we'll see if that triggers. I'm going to close this one out. And then here, for Peanut, we'll go ahead and we'll check it out. Okay, so let's verify here. And we got just over 100 members in the group. All right, so last buy came in at 1240, so just under, my 10-minute, window. We're going to go back over here just so we can go ahead and copy that CA to see if anybody's talking about it. Okay, so, and yeah, I prefer to go ahead and do that before I go into the channel. So it's just one of my things that I do just to, if I don't need to, go in and investigate the channel, then I'm not going to, right? So especially depending on what I see here, in terms of the monitoring. So let's see. And see, we got a pretty, it's not a small, search bar here, but, or scroll bar here, but, we can see that there are some replies, so a lot of the stuff, right now I'm seeing is in Spanish, so I don't really I'm guessing it's Spanish or not Spanish, but Japanese. And I don't really understand, what they're saying there. So we're not going to worry about that. However, I do wish, that, that X would come up with something, especially for this purpose, where they would just auto-translate, to your preferred language when you're doing searches, but I don't know how to go ahead and send that complaint to, or suggestion to. So we can see Bitcoin, crypto gems. Okay, they mentioned the CA, so let's see, let's just go all the way down to the bottom, since this is, again, newer token, so there shouldn't be, anything horrible in terms of scrolling down, but I do wish that another suggestion would be that they had something to auto scroll all the way to the bottom and auto scroll all the way to the top, but they don't have that built in, to this particular platform. So, all right, we're not going to go ahead and keep going down, but you can see here, pump from alerts, and this is also great for discovering new X channels as well. So not only great, for just, seeing what people, what people are saying in regards to the contract that you're looking at, but it's a great discovery tool, for new channels that you may not have any idea that existed, on X. Okay, so and some of these channels are good and some of them are garbage, but you know how that goes, so. All right, and you can see this is, like I said, when you start to look at some of the earliest, mentions, of a contract, you'll have stuff like this, smart traders are buying it, and they'll go ahead and show you the market cap, and maybe what they invested in it. Some channels may even tell you that this is a person that, or a whale, that made X amount of money, a different token, but, but they've decided to go, and even so, they've decided to go and buy into this token. All right. And you'll have stuff like this, people saying, watch your entry, buy on the dip. And it's ultimately just shilling, a token. Maybe they don't even know much about it, but they're still shilling it to their community. Me personally, I want to try to find some information about it, before I'm shilling it to anybody, but that's just kind of how I operate. But you can see there's a lot of people that have gone ahead and talked to about this particular token already. Okay, so, but even so, even with that being said, and I think this is like a brand new one that just came in. And if you're not sure on the time, right? So for me, let's say that I came into this and I want to see when the last mention was made. So what I do, I go ahead and I click in it, and because I'm I'm in the Midwest. This says 4:33 a.m., so I would forward it 3 hours. So the last mention was at 7:33 a.m., okay, on this post, so this wasn't a brand new one. This was just one I didn't see when we came into this, but either way, and this is saying March 5th. So let's go back out to that because I thought this was, okay, so this is 5th, so I also mentioned, you want to look at the earliest tweets, and today's the 6th, obviously, so this is a great example of what I was talking about before. If we went back out to it, okay, and this is the 5th, here we go ahead and we go to the time and location, okay, so anytime, and within the time frame is what you want to select. So we're going to go March, and we're going to go to the 5th, okay, and then we're going to 2025. Now, here, I wish it was kind of a couple of days out because it would actually make a bit more sense, to you, but, oops, I got to go to the month here, March, and then we're going to go to the 6th. Okay, for some reason, if you go March 5th to 5th, it's not going to show you anything, and I don't really, I've looked at this and tried to understand how they do this time information when they put the stuff in there, and I can't make sense of it, so ordinarily I just go ahead and enter the time, but I like I said, I can't make sense of it the way they do this format. So, and you can see our bar here has gotten a little bit smaller, so it may make it a bit easier just to go ahead and go down to the very first mention, where it has removed some results, so we're not seeing as much as we were seeing before. But we'll go ahead and we'll see if I can get to the bottom here so we can see what the very first mentions of this particular token was. Okay, so hold on, I'm going to pause real quick so I can get to the bottom so you guys don't have to watch that. The funny part about that is I only had to scroll one more time. I got to the bottom. Wow. Okay, so either way, this is the very first mention on March 5th. Okay, and you can see this is Maze talking about this, and he's got 28 followers, and I guess he's mentioning his buy, here on this particular token, and did the same thing here. Okay, and then you can see Smart Whale Alert. This is a channel, where they tell you, what whales are buying into stuff, so, and so you can see, these are the earliest mentions. So like I said before, really helpful to find out who is talking about this stuff the earliest, right? So. And if you're doing any research to go ahead and try to figure out consistency, you might be able to discover a channel that has a knack, for finding stuff, pretty early, right? I think GMGN Smart Monitor, that was one I came across, just a few days ago, that I think is pretty decent. But again, you have to still study the information. They can tell you that, in this case, bullish sentiment is strong. That doesn't mean the chart's going to continue to go up, because if we look back at this chart, we can see, maybe the bullish sentiment was strong at the time that they mentioned it, but it went up and it came back down. Or maybe they mentioned it somewhere here. I have no idea. But the point is that when we look back, let's go back here. And actually, we can kind of find that out. So let's see here. This was mentioned yesterday, right? And so 7:43 a.m. So it would have been about, just almost 11 a.m., for me. And if we go back out to that chart and we look back at the 5th, and we're looking at I think they said 123K. No, 93K. Okay, so if we look back here on the 5th, the 93K would have been, so if this is at 120, we're sitting at what? 122K. So 93K would have been, basically around here on the 5th, somewhere in this, somewhere across this line. So it was before the pump, so this might be a decent channel that you might want to go ahead and pay attention to, looking for stuff that's early, because they tend to, post stuff, I think, fairly early. So let's go back, so either way, as far as the monitoring channel is concerned, just highlighting that in today's video, this is the reason why you want to utilize, a monitoring tool, because it can help you in terms of getting earlier entries in particular tokens. So let's see, let's go back here, and I don't think that we took a look at the channel yet. So, okay. Actually, Peanut. Okay, so we already did the verification on that one. So, and for this one, we're not really seeing a ton of activity, because there's only been 3 new messages, since we left the chat before I went over to the monitoring tool. All right, but either way, it looks like they're still getting some buys. So the last one was 12:57. That's what I got, on my clock right now as well. So a lot of buyback activity. Let me see here. Not seeing anything in regards to a raid, not seeing anything in regards to any trending yet either. Okay, so and let's see here. This is just talking about LP tokens. They're burnt. All right, so not a lot going on in terms of their pin messages. Okay, so let me go back out of here. We're going to close this out. And so yeah, not a lot of activity. You can see here on the 5 minutes, only not even 2%. The 1 hour, not even 20%. 6 hour, pretty decent minus. Almost minus 40. And but I'll tell you what, could go up. Might go down. So let's go ahead and let's set the alerts anyway. We're sitting at 122. So we're going to go ahead and go to our market cap 122. Okay, on this one, we're going to copy that one. And on the over, I don't know, let's go and set it at 135. So not a lot of activity going on right now. So I think it's okay. And on the under, we're going to post that in, and we're going to go ahead and set this at 100K. Okay, so there we are. We're going to see if any of those trigger. And then Sunny Solana, this one, not really looking too hot. I mean, a lot of, looks like, some decent sell pressure on this one. Let's see if anybody's talking about it. So we're going to go back over here. We're going to copy our CA. We're going to enter that in here. and see if there's anybody talking about this. So, I mean, we got some people talking about it, but I do want to go back out here because we didn't do this before. Let's see if this is just all today or if it's yesterday. So this is all today. Okay, so one of the things that concerns me in regards to this one is the heavy pump and then heavy retracement. So the positive is that there was recovery, but a lot of retracement here. They see some recovery. So, I mean, this is a higher low than the previous, right? So it could go back up, but again, we really don't know, right? So going back over here, let's see what's being said, at least anything recent, and let's see what this is. So what's the last thing that was said here? 7:52, that would have been, so that's almost 11 o'clock, so not another mention, for about an hour or so. So nobody's really talking about this, and if nobody's really talking about it, it does lead one to believe, okay, at least for me personally, that there's no new eyes really coming to this, right? So then I got to see what's going on up here. Okay, so hot pairs, number 20, but they don't have any ads or boost paid for. So next thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and check out the channel. Okay, so that's still peanuts. I got to go back over here. Let's go ahead and let's check out their channel. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and verify here and get the verification link. Just over 400 members here in the chat. All right, so we can see right here they got some spam, so I'd want to see obviously active moderation, but I'm not really. Okay, so glad to see that's gone. So there's active moderation. Good to see. However, this kind of concerns me because this doesn't look like this is supposed to be here in the chat. So they've got active moderation, but selective active moderation. So because this should not be here. Okay, so that kind of concerns me. We did get a new buy that just came in. These kind of announcements, this is definitely not safe for anybody that's already in this token. So this kind of crap, they should be getting rid of that, right away, but they're not doing that. So right away, what I can see is lackadaisical, moderation. So for me, that does concern me, so I'd want to go ahead and say, we're going to leave this one alone. Okay, so we're going to exit out of this one. We're not going to follow this one. Let's look at Solar Coaster. Okay, so let's see if anything's being said. So we're going to go over here. We're going to put in our new CA. And then we're going to check to see when the last, mention was made. So this is 8:16. So that would have put this at, 11:16. Now we're still talking, over an hour, since the last mention, for this particular contract. Okay. So I'm not going to go ahead and scroll down here. We already know this is going to give you information in regards to what's being said in regards to the token. We're going to go back over here. Okay. So we can see some retracement there, which is not unusual. I mean, they're sitting really at the high of the candle or the chart, so we're going to take a look at their Telegram and we're going to see what we got going on in here. Okay. So it doesn't look like we get a portal on this one. At least it doesn't look like so far, but we'll keep going up. Okay. So yes, we do. All right, sometimes you got to go and scroll, to go and find their actual portal or verification link, so, but that's pretty interesting. Is this the actual channel? Okay, so yeah, this is the actual channel now. So we get trending here. All right, but we want to see, are they active on the leaderboard? So this is Solar Coaster. They should be number 8. Okay, so here we go. And let's see here. Number 8 is what we're looking for, Solar Coaster. They're number 7, so let's go back out. All right, and I don't see any kind of signs of rating going on. Okay, so we're going to go over to the pinned messages. Not a lot going on in pinned messages with only 11 pinned messages. Okay, so and not really any useful information in regards to marketing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go back on out here. And for this one, I'm not crazy about this. I think when you're looking at a chart like this, you want to see, I think in terms of a healthier chart, you want to see, probably greater dips than you're seeing on this. And so for me, I feel like anybody that's been accumulating, early on in this one is holding on to a pretty hefty bag. And this one to me gives me those vibes that this is probably going to dump, and when it dumps, it's going to dump hard. Now, you're also not seeing anything going on in terms of boosts, or ads here. So yeah, they've got trending going on, no raids, so once the trending's gone, I think this is going to go ahead and just, it's going to really retrace, big time. So for this one, I'm not really interested in. I'm not going to go ahead and follow this one. So we're going to close this one out. And then for awe, we're going to go ahead and see right now, just checking out their token, their contract address. We're going to copy that one in here and here, see if anybody's talking about this recently. Okay, so we're going to click on this, and then And I don't know if it works for everybody else in terms of adding 3 hours, but it does for me, in terms of knowing, when they actually, posted, when the last post was, according to my own time. So this one would have been, easily over an hour, on this one too. So nobody's actively really talking about this, so we're going to go back over here. And that could also be the reason, contributing to the retracement. If nobody's really talking about it and they're not doing anything actively to really go ahead and continue to market this and push it, then you're going to go ahead and see the start, the chart, basically run dry, right? So let's take a look at the Telegram. Let's see what's going on there. And the last buy came in at 12.59. That would have been about 6 minutes ago, almost. So that's good to see. At least, there is, there was another buy that came in recently. Okay, so let's see. Anything going on? No raids. Not seeing anything in the way of raids. Not seeing anything in the way of trending, either. So they're not doing anything to go on to market, get some fresh new eyes, on this particular token. So that's kind of concerning. That's the reason why you're seeing that translated into what's going on in the chart. So moving forward, there's going to be a community marketing wallet. All funds will go to growing the presence, the token. Donations are appreciated, but don't feel pressured to give. Let's help with what we can. The team's really working hard to take this to the moon, and then they give you the address, for the marketing wallet. Now, as I've mentioned before, here's the reality about these marketing wallets. You really don't know if the team, whoever put out the information, is actually going to utilize whatever funds go to this wallet appropriately or actually for the token. You have no idea, if the team is going to go ahead and run off, with the money. You just don't know. And that's the sketchy thing, about teams that want to go ahead and run a token, or communities go ahead and do a CTO, and then you don't really know where the money's going to. Now, there are obviously tokens, where money goes into a marketing wallet and it's legitimate, that money is actually used for marketing. But nobody knows, who these guys are. Do these guys have like a prior token that they've done where the team has a reputation for actually moving a token and doing well and being honest, right? We have no idea, and neither do you. So if you've got a bag in this particular token and you recognize that, hey, the money's all right, it's run dry. You need money to go and move a token, right? You need money to go and market. So, and if they're without money, this is what you get. You typically end up with messages like this where they're asking the community to go ahead and send funds. But again, if you've got money, in a particular, let's take this token in particular, if you got money in it, you got a couple of decisions to make. Either you decide to go ahead and say, I'm done, I'm going to jump out. And even if it's at a loss, you jump out. Or you decide to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and ride this out. Let's just go ahead and see. I'm going to ride it to zero. If it doesn't go up, it doesn't go up, and I can live with that. Or you decide, I'm going to go ahead and throw some money in the marketing wallet. Again, when you do that, you're trusting that the team is actually going to use that money appropriately to actually move and push the token. What happens if they spend some money and the token doesn't move? How do they refund that money back to anybody that donated to the wallet? You know what I mean? So those are questions you need to think about. So it's great to see this and have faith, that they're probably going to go ahead and do right. But again, I think that when you see enough things happen in crypto that don't leave you with that, that confident, warm, fuzzy feeling that, hey, everything's going to be okay. You probably should run with that, feeling that this is probably not going to turn out to be what you think it's going to turn out to be. There are, again, some scenarios where it does work out, but you got to go ahead and weigh that against, your conviction for the token and what you've already invested in the token, and again, as it's always said, don't invest more than you can afford to lose, so you never go in, with essentially the last, bit of money that you have, and think that, hey, I'm going to trust people that I have no idea about in terms of whether they can be trusted, and then if it goes to zero, then you're out of that because you decided to go and trust people that you absolutely didn't know at all. You know what I mean? So again, I when I say stuff like that, it's about educating you. It's about making sure you're informed, but also understand there are exceptions, but there aren't a lot of them. And that's the whole point that I'm trying to make to you. So you have to consider that, as you decide on how you want to approach, situations like this. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move back on out here. Okay, so for this one, I'm not going ahead and setting any alerts on it. I think for me personally, just what I'm watching, in that token, knowing that message is there, knowing there's nothing being done to go ahead and market and push this token. At the end of the day, there are way too many other options, here across the crypto landscape for people to go ahead and jump into that have an actual budget to go ahead and move their token than to go ahead and stay in a token that's really just surviving on life support, So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and close this one out. Anxiety here. My only concern about this one is that, there hasn't been much buy pressure. There hasn't, I mean, they saw a little bit of a run here, but I'm telling you, this token basically sat here for at least 20 minutes. I mean, it just didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden it just decided to go ahead and take off, but you can tell just by that, and then you get this sell pressure and then a little bit more buy pressure returns. People were just sick of waiting, and I think that's pretty much the sentiment that's showing up, here on this chart, is that, yeah, you probably still got some people, they're living off a little bit of hopium, they're just going to go ahead and continue to move, but as we know, in this landscape in crypto, people just they don't have a lot of patience, so they don't like to go ahead and sit and wait on stale charts that just really aren't doing anything. You want to see activity, and obviously, when charts are just kind of sitting there, that's actually a danger zone for me, personally, unless, this team, the team behind it has proven time and time again that they can move charts, and teams like that have lots of connection, and they've got money to go ahead and move a chart. And in that case, you're typically not going to see it just kind of sit still, for a long time. And if you do, those kind of situations are where people really just have a lot of confidence in the team because they know that the team is worth their salt. You know what I mean? So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and still take a look here. Let's make sure this is today. So this is today. All right. So I'm going to go over here. We're going to paste in. Okay. And so what did you just see there? I just want to highlight this. What you just saw there was another, another message. So, but this is saying March 5th, so I think, let's see here. So I don't know why we saw this just show up. I don't know if I don't really know why it showed up. So, because this is showing March 5th. So maybe I didn't see it before, but I thought this was a brand new message that I didn't see before. I don't know. That could just mean my eyes playing tricks on me. I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and go into the next contract. So here we are, and we can see here, let's see, when was the last message on this one? I'm going to click on this, and let's see here, this is today, 4:35, so this is showing, just under 8, so this would have been about 8 a.m., all right, or before 8 a.m., so, and this is the message I was talking about. This anxiety will probably, nuke soon, okay, I'm the one who launched it, so yeah. And this was the one that gave me pause about this particular token, earlier, was that when he said he was the one that created it, it's probably going to nuke. And like I said, this would have been hours ago, right? That's the one where I was like, this isn't going to go anywhere, which is why I was surprised that it actually did run a little bit. So we're going to close this one out, and we'll go down and we'll see what some of these other messages are. Okay, and so you can see, what some other people are saying it. This is the OG PvP scam bundle version created 3 hours ago. Okay, so not sure where they're getting that information, but again, you can always go ahead and put these CAs, into bundle checkers to go ahead and see what the bundles look like. You can even do it into TTF bot, and you can see if there was any bundle, in the token, as well. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a scam because they bundled, but because we've seen plenty of tokens that have run, even though they've had, some decent bundles in them. But you want to be aware, try to avoid, tokens that have massive bundles, because those typically don't do very well, but if you've got like a, relatively a lot of, these token creators, they do bundle, but I think, anything reasonable, like maybe under like 8%, under 10%, is not terrible, in my personal opinion, especially, if they're selling those wallets, respectively and responsibly, so. But that's just my own personal opinion. I'd rather just avoid bundles at all. But a lot of times in these tokens, you can't avoid the bundles, because a lot of token creators do bundle. So, but anyway, let's move back on over here. So it's not looking great, but let's take a look, at the channel anyway, and let's see what they got going on. So here we are, and we got just over 530 members, here in this particular token. Let's see what the last buy was. Let's see here. Let's see. Going back up, going up. All right, it's not going to let me go up. All right, hold on. Let me pause. Let me close this out and then restart it. Okay, so I think that fixed it. Okay, so last buy came in at 113. That's what I got on my clock. All right, so we can see this is a CTO, and all right, so rating. Yep, they got some raids going on. I'm looking for 6 bookmarks, 4 replies, 10 retweets, and 19 likes. They've made some good progress here according to the progress indicator. All right, and looking for any sign of trending. Let's see. Nope. No sign of trending yet. All right, so we're going to go over here and let's see here. somebody offering stickers. All right, so not really much going on in terms of the pin messages. So I'm gonna go ahead on back out, and for this one, tell you what, we'll go and set 2 alerts on this one. We'll see if it does anything from here. Looks like we're sitting at 269, on the market cap. So we're gonna go here, 269K. We're gonna go ahead and copy that. And so on the over, I don't know, let's go to 280. All right, so there we go. And then on the under, we're gonna go ahead and paste in our found market cap, and we're gonna go to 240. We'll see if that triggers. So with that being said, I think that's gonna go ahead and do it for today's video. Covered a lot. I know I moved through this one really quickly, but I like to keep these under an hour if at all possible. Adding in the tweet or the X monitoring information did lengthen, how much I wanted to go ahead and cover in today's video. So I knew I needed to go ahead and speak a little bit faster just to get through all of it. But with that being said, hope you got something out of today's video. And as always, if you think that somebody else can benefit from the value that you're getting out of these videos, if you're getting value out of them, okay, don't want to make any assumptions. But if you're getting some value, definitely make sure that you share this with more people so that we can go ahead and get more people to be aware of the channel and what's going on here in this series, as well. Definitely want everybody engaging with crypto to have a more positive experience. And I really feel like the only way that you can do that is to get access to the right information. Somebody that's not trying to go ahead and show you the next thing that, hey, it's going to quote unquote 100x. I'm never going to go ahead and do that to you. I truly believe that it's about, getting you in front of the right information that it's actually helpful, and a lot of that's really going to be central to research and knowing what to look for, knowing what to avoid, as you're engaging with different tokens. Doesn't mean that you're always going to win, but it will definitely make you a bit more informed and knowing what to watch out for, as you decide to go ahead and explore and navigate, different tokens that you may find of interest, as you're navigating Dexscreener as a platform. So if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. And with that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. You guys enjoy the day.